again, my name is Steve Biko, or better known as Socoanalyst on social media platforms. And I pride myself as an opinion shaper, someone who's actually keen on having right conversations that can be able to take the country forward. And today I want to talk about the issue of the bipartisan talks that our dear President Ruto initiated a week or so ago and requested the Right Honorable Raila Odinga to call off his opposition demonstration so that they can have talks, spearheaded by Parliament. And as a businessman, I think that was the right move and the right way to go, because one, we just coming out of 5 years of campaign, we're coming out of 2020, 2021, 2022, a very painful, toxic era of COVID-19, and its ripple effect is being felt now. So as a country, we are facing a lot of challenges that any more sideshows or delays will not actually work for us. Not to mention what's happening outside our borders, because that is not within our control. But what is within our borders is actually our control. And today I want to actually focus on the bipartisan talks and why they're actually very important. I don't think Raila knows me. And I don't think the president knows who I am, or they even care. But I'm a member of this country, I'm a citizen of this country, and we are all having a lot of conversations on social media, on WhatsApp, in persons, in our homes. And it is important to ask the question, should the government talk to the opposition? Or should the opposition go back to demonstrations? And I want to urge Kenyans to take a moment and think after the following facts. One, 7.2 million people voted for Ruto. 7 million voted for Baba, which means there's a difference of at least 200,000 votes. This is a very slim difference in a country with over 50 million Kenyans, with over 44 tribes, and where we are very tribalistic and very, very proud and warlike. We also need to remember that 8 million people did not vote for either. So in terms of controlling the country, Ruto has the legal instruments, but does he have the moral authority? Does he have the legitimacy of the people of Kenya to rule the country? That is debatable. And this is where Parliament and other arms of government come in, to ensure that they consolidate the country, that the country is united and the president is able to rule. I would like to fault Ruto's people, the deputy president, Kimani Ichung'wah, Ndindi Nyoro, for being very arrogant, for being very rude, for being proud, thinking that this country is theirs. This country belongs to us all. Those 7 million people who didn't vote for Ruto, and those 8 million who didn't vote for either of them, that brings to 15 million. If these 15 million people decided today enough is enough and they go to the streets, what will the government do? I'm a believer in the Constitution, and I believe Raila fought for this Constitution. As a businessman, I do not want to see demonstrations. But I also do not want to see a parliament that is compromised, a parliament that is greedy, a parliament that is corrupt. I believe that we should stop focusing so much on Baba and Ruto and focus on Parliament, because that is where the problem is coming from. If we had an independent oversight body, we will be able to check the government properly and things will be okay. Ruto will be able to manage the country effectively with proper oversight role from Parliament. But this is not happening. The president has been able to compromise Parliament. When he took over the country, he said that he wants a strong opposition, then goes ahead and buys almost all MPs who are close to Baba, effectively destroying the opposition. So how do you say you want a strong opposition when in essence you're buying them off? That is one. Two, it is very important to remember that history is a reference point for all of us. For those of us who forget history, we are bound to make the same mistakes. The late President Kibaki, when he used to call for parliamentary group meetings, he did not care whether you are for DP or Ford Kenya or KANU, no. As long as you're an elected member of parliament, he would summon the entire parliament to State House for discussion on how good to move the country. This behavior, where we've seen in the last government and this government, whereby you only call MPs affiliated to you and you do not share the agenda with the rest of the MPs, has created a problem. The creators of our constitution knew the challenges and the pains this country has gone through. And they gave us a very beautiful document. Unfortunately, they forgot one thing, the role of the opposition. And this is something that I believe as the president's side and Raila's side sit down for bipartisan talks, the need to amend the constitution and bring in officially the role of opposition, where the leader of opposition and his 22 shadow cabinet members paid for by the public of Kenya are part and parcel of parliament to be able to check the government. This is what we need. In a country whereby a third of the people did not vote for you and a third of the people did not vote for anyone, you honestly have no moral legitimacy to govern the country. Your first rule should be to consolidate the country, bring all leaders together. One of the problems that this country is facing is the aspect of transactional politics. It's not about what is right. It's not about what is ideal. It's not about what is good for Kenya. It's about, wewe unataka ngapi? How much do you need me to pay you for you to come and support my bill in parliament? You don't have a new car. If I give you 10 million, you can buy a new V8. You know, that house you've been planning to build, kuja uchukue mabati 100 na simiti mifuko 1000, umalize hiyo nyumba, support my idea. That is the kind of politics that we're seeing right now. And that is the biggest form of politics that is actually sinking this country. We are not a country of transaction, because when we focus on transaction, we erode moral authority, erode away the rule of law, we erode away what holds us dear, and we put money at the foremost of everything. People who have no voice, children, people with disability, who will defend them when they don't have money? So this conversation is important for all of us, whether you support Ruto, whether you support Baba, whether you support who, for us to be sober and ask ourselves exactly what will happen if the 15 million people who didn't vote for this government decide to go to war, decide to go to the streets. Ruto is a legitimate president. He has the legal instruments to manage this country. I am challenging him. He has the biggest opportunity to turn this country for better. He should tell Gachagua and Ichung'wah to shut up. He should come out and hold Ichung'wah accountable for what happened to Northlands. It doesn't matter what we think about Northlands. We've seen what's happened in Malindi. We've seen what's happened in Naivasha. Now, if I come to your farm and I take over it, what are you going to do to me? This is a conversation that all of us need to have. It is very important for Kenyans to talk. We love each other. Some of us have parents who are Kikuyu, Kamba, Luhya. We have so many blood that we don't even know which community we belong to. We've seen what happens when Eliud Kipchoge wins and we all rally around him as a country. We've seen what happens when our children pass exams. I am challenging the president to tame his people, because the more they keep insulting Raila, they're insulting every other follower who voted for him. They're insulting every other Kenyan who didn't vote for both of them. My take is this. We are tired of hearing them say every day, we found the coffers empty. So, Gachagua, if you found the coffers empty, explain this to me. Immediately you were declared winner by the Supreme Court. You requested for 1.5 billion for new cars and something for your wife. Yeah? If you're saying that we don't have coffers, you've had how many prayer Thanksgiving you're spending 100 million every time? All these MPs you're buying, where are you getting the money? You want to tell me you're so generous, you're using your own money? Bana, sisi si wajinga bana. Apana. Stop insulting other leaders. If Uhuru stole money, if Raila stole money, produce the evidence. Sisi kama wananchi tutenda tuwashike tuwalete polisi. But if you don't have the evidence, focus on the roles and duties we've given you as our leaders. Fix the economy. Reduce our taxes. Some of us, do we pay rent? Do we pay our workers? Do we pay KRA? What do we do? Because you make the little money you make, unasikia kuna maandamano. The little money you make, unasikia sijui nini imefanyika. We want to work, bwana. And I would like to challenge Baba. You fought so much for this country. Tame your lieutenants. Find people who are willing to sit down. We have issues that need to be addressed. We know Ruto cannot govern this country without your support. You two sit down together and fix this. Because I mean, honestly, tumechoka. And you know, sometimes when people get tired and when people who are elected get tired, we are getting tired and we are watching. We are not helpless. We are watching. There are many people who didn't vote. Gachagua, Ichung'wah. So stop insulting people. In fact, Ichung'wah, I feel ashamed to say I went to alliance with you. People who went to alliance do not reason and think like you. Shame on you. Thank you.